The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here once again on the Low Fact Podcast. Dave and Matt.
Way to clear your throat.
I couldn't help it. So, I don't know, when I read this topic, it just kind of seems a little stupid, but I do think that people tend to outsmart themselves a lot and read extra meanings into things that they don't have to. Of course, the funny thing is, on things that where you should read other stuff into, people don't seem to do that as much either. So it's, I don't know, is it a...
What are you talking about? Like what stuff?
Well, it just kind of depends.
So like what? Like statistics in the news or?
Just situational things. You know, people tend to say it is what it is on stuff that they really...
Shouldn't be saying it is what it is.
Right. But on stuff that should be kind of, yeah, it is what it is. I just think it's really funny how people tend to outsmart themselves in a lot of venues.
But is that really outsmarting yourself, or is that people being stupid?
I think an argument could be made for both.
Because I would think that if they're getting it wrong, if they're saying it is what it is about the stuff that they should be getting involved in, and not saying it is what it is about the things that are like meaningless, then at that point you have to sort of say, well, people are stupid.
Well, that's why I don't like that term. The reason I guess the big reason why I don't like that term, and this is a recapitulation of what I said before, is that the whole it is what it is thing, it's just very imprecise.
Well, you just don't like imprecision from people.
Well, there is that, yes.
That's just a pet peeve of yours.
It is.
But everybody's always imprecise. Most people are imprecise.
They don't have to be. We're supposed to be incredibly smart. Just ask anyone.
You think if you say to anybody, are you smart, they would say, yeah, I'm smart.
I don't even have to say that. There are a lot of people that try to impress upon me about how smart they are.
Shit, I never get that. Must just be something you bring out in people.
Well, I kind of wish I didn't then.
But it's not like you're sitting there trying to make people feel stupid.
Not at all.
Maybe they just feel stupid.
How is that my fault?
It's got to be something you're doing. Doesn't it? I mean, why else would everybody respond in the same way?
I didn't say everybody did it.
But a lot of people do. I have observed it.
Well, just because you've observed it doesn't mean it's necessarily true.
Yes, it does. If I observed it, then it's true.
Okay. But yes.
Is that what we're talking about? It is what it is?
No, I don't know what we're talking about. This episode is truly free-flowing without anything.
Terrifying.
No safety net, no guideposts, no map.
That's like my nightmare. You know, it's some scenario where it's like, go to it, no instructions.
I like that, though.
It's the difference between you and me. Right there.
Solve this issue.
It's like I need the color by numbers. Do this, do that.
There's nothing wrong with that either. It's just I don't like it when people try to be imprecise, like just fix this, and I go about fixing it, and sometimes, and some occasions, people are like, well, I didn't want you to fix that way. Like, well, if you didn't want me to do that, then maybe you should have told me how you wanted it to get fixed.
What does it matter as long as it's fixed?
Well, for some people, it's not. That's not important.
The being fixed part is important? Isn't important?
It is, but they would much rather it be fixed the way they want it to be fixed.
Why does it matter?
Well, that's my question. But
I mean, isn't that a little fascistic? Is that even a word?
Yeah, it can be.
Fascist-ish.
It can be. But, yeah, I mean, if someone... If you have an idea of how you want things to get done, then it's best to tell the people how you want it to get done.
But you see the drawback to that, right?
Yeah, I do. But there are situations where, in the work context, if there's a certain way, a procedure for things to get done, then if you're the boss, the manager, it's best to tell your minion, underling, direct report, this is how I want you to go about fixing this problem.
Right.
There are other situations where you just don't know, right?
Wait, we have no idea. Something new.
Well, whatever. Go take that hill. Go fix this legal problem. Go fix this medical problem. Well, then you really have to go to someone who's an expert, I suppose, in that field and let them go at it.
If there is an expert in that field.
Well, there are experts in certain fields. I mean...
Yeah, but what if it's like a unique issue in that field? Then you got a problem because there's no expert.
Well, no. If it's a unique issue, then the person that has the most experience in that field can fashion a solution based on that field.
What if they can't fashion it? What if nobody has a solution?
Well, there are solutions, and occasionally the best person to come up with a solution for a certain problem is the person that's not an expert in the field. And my analogy for that is manned flight. Before the invention of the aeroplane, the experts in flight all thought that flying heavier than air flying machines all had to be balloons.
That's right.
But
balloons was it.
But this pair of bicycle manufacturers was like, well, what if we do it this way? And, all heavier than air flight kind of went towards the way of the Wright brothers and not the hot air balloonists.
Yeah, nobody would have seen that coming.
Well, I don't think you need to see things coming. I don't think you can or need to prepare for everything.
Need to or can? Can.
Both. One cannot prepare for all the things that happen in one's life. So the whole point of educating children is to give them the tools to take on whatever comes their way.
Hopefully.
And I do acknowledge that.
What if you just been teaching kids to follow orders?
Personality quirks are a big portion of that. Like it or not, even the people that think they are rebels, most people are conformists.
So the guy on Twitter that's sitting there saying we need to have a revolution, probably not a revolutionary.
Not a serious one, no. Revolutions are messy. Revolutions are dirty. And then after the revolution happens, pretty much the same thing goes about. There's a small cadre of people in charge, and they have all the power. I mean, revolution is just short for, I want to be one of the guys in power. Help me get there.
So would you say that the founding fathers were revolutionaries? I mean, they probably were, right? I mean, they were saying we need to be separate from the British Empire and be doing things the American way, the new American way, rather than
I think
what the British wanted.
I think the form of government that they came up with was somewhat revolutionary, but it was just a little different.
Well, they took from a lot of different things.
But again, it was a small cadre of people running things. It just switched from the British to the people that were in the upper crust here.
Yeah, which goes back to what we were saying about the revolutionaries usually often being the upper crust folks.
Well, there are very few revolutionaries that are just one of the unwashed masses.
I'm trying to think of one.
The ones that end up being in charge.
What about Genghis Khan?
What about him?
Was he like a high guy? No, he wasn't.
He was an illiterate nomad.
Well, then he's like the perfect example. He's like the exception to the rule.
What do you mean?
Well, he wasn't an upper crust guy.
Oh, sure he was.
Was he?
He was an upper crust guy of his people.
Oh, okay.
But he was still an illiterate nomad. He was just an upper crust. He was the son of a chief.
But they were all illiterate nomads, weren't they?
The Mongols? Yeah.
So, not a good example then.
And then when they started taking over various areas, educated folks became trusted subordinates that managed junk, and they did what they did. There's always going to be... That's why, like, and a lot of times, even in revolutions, the bureaucrats stay the same.
Frickin' bureaucrats. course.
I mean, if you think of the Soviet system, why do you think the Soviets had the political officers for the military?
I don't know.
Well, at the very beginning, when the revolution occurred, there weren't enough military folks, so they had to take the military folks from the Tsarist regime and say, you're going to be the military folks here, but because we don't trust you, I'm going to put in some guys that are in my crew to watch you.
Why didn't everyone just say no way?
Maybe they didn't have enough power.
Because who wants somebody sitting there spying on what they're doing?
Well, apparently, a lot of the governors and a lot of the states right now want you to rat out your neighbors, right?
That's bullshit. I wonder how much ratting's going on.
Oh, who knows?
And how hateful you got to be to rat on a small business that's trying to frickin' survive at this point.
There's plenty of people that are willing to do that.
It seems pretty stupid to me.
So much for I'm okay, you're okay.
We're all in this together until if the government's paying me a bit of a fee for ratting you out.
They might not even pay you a fee.
Just because.
There are people that will knock on other people just because.
See, I think those people deserve everything they get.
Well, a lot of times those people live pretty well. Do they deserve that?
No.
Well, I guess that's enough for today.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't know about that.
It was good.